Hello everyone and welcome to my channel Cool Econometrics. In this video I'll be talking you through on how to create multiple ggplot maps to show changes in a variable over time for a panel of maybe states or countries or communities, something like a map. So you have like a map of a country or a map of a state, and then you want to show using different maps how a certain variable or different variables. I'm going to show you how to do that of different variables, how different variables changes over time. So you want to just look at a visual representation of those changes over time of a variable for different units of observation. Okay, so the first thing I want you to do in R, and I'm going to put this code that I use. I'm going to put it on the comment space. So please feel free to modify it for your own purpose. So the first thing I want you to do is if you don't have all these 5 packages, please install them before using the library. So simply you click on install, you press install.packages, and then you put the names of each of these. For example, if you don't have dplyr, then you have to install it first before you call it out from the library. So if you call it out from the library without installing it, it's not going to work. So all this already there in my library, so I'm just calling them up from the library. So if you don't have any of these packages in your library, please install them first, then use the library to call them up. Okay, so once I've done this and I enter, so I have everything now. I have my data here. Let me just show you my data. I call it the df average data. The df average data. You can see it has states and the name of diseases per state and the average rate. So these are the names of these diseases. And this is the average rate of this particular disease, the average death rate. So you have, for example, the state, you have the chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and this is the period. It could be maybe yearly 2002, but I decided to take a look at an average over a particular period of time, but it could be a single year. It doesn't matter. So I have it. So I want to see how this rate changes over this period of time. You can see I have 4 periods here, 1, 2, 3, 4. How the death rate for this disease, how it changes over time for this particular state. And I want to do it for all the other states. And then I want to also do it not just for this disease. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 diseases I want to show how their death rate changes over time for different states or all the states in this particular country, in this case India. Okay, so what I do is after you've installed this, so if you have to have your Indian shapefile. So I have my Indian shapefile. Remember, you need to set your working directory to where you have all these all your documents, all the shapefile and everything. You have to set your working directory there. So my shapefile is in shape, so I call it in. And you can see it's already there. There's my shapefile in a read mode. Then I want to merge this Indian shapefile data with my data frame that contains the death rate, and I want to do it by state. You must be sure that you have a common column that has the same name by which you are going to merge. In this case, in my Indian, you could see I have states in this shapefile. I have state, and I've already shown you also in my dataset I have state. So the two of them must correspond because that will be the merging point, the merging key. So I do that. Good. Now there are some states that perhaps are there are some states in the Indian shapefile that I don't have data for in my death rate data. So what I simply need to do, because if I plot the graph, if I plot if I do the maps, I will have those areas coming out as gray, but I don't want those areas to come out. So I want to knock off areas that are not available in my data set. I want to knock them off from the map. So what I simply need to do is to add this bit. this, and that's this the filter, pipe through the pipe had this bit filter, meaning if this data is not available, the average rate of this data set, if the average rate is not available, simply cancel it or take it off. So I do that, yeah, and then it's kind of transforms the data. Now I want you to install this package if you don't have it, the string char. I have it already, so I just call it from the library. The reason is because, as you can see, if in my data set, some of these diseases are so long, the names are so long, so if I want to label it on a map, it will look so long. So I want to wrap it around so that it breaks at a particular point and goes to the next line. So to be able to do that, I need to use the function string char, and I simply just say, okay, the disease where you have the death rate, those disease names, wrap them around the width of 15. You can change this width. It means once it gets to 15 width, it takes it to the next line. So you'll see how that works out when we get the final output. So I press my enter, and then of course you have to we're now going to the map. I want to do my ggplot. I want to do my ggplot. So if you don't have this in the library as well, please try to install it first. Okay, I'll walk you through what I did in this ggplot, and I'll do before I run it. So this is my data now, because this is my combined data, Indian data, that has both that has combined both this shape file and also the data set for the mortality rate. Okay, so you just follow I'll put this in the chat, and then you can play around with it. So what you have there is that you need to now use this average rate, so this average rate, remember, is the average death rate is actually what I want the variable I'm looking for. So that variable I'm looking for is that variable I want to study how it changes is what I'm going to fill up the map with. Of course, you can change this color, you can play around with all this. And this scale field just tells you that I want my option to be in plasma. You can play around with this. The name of the legend, that's the name of this rate, I want it to come out as average rate in percentage. That's the name that the legend, the title of the legend. Okay, so this is saying that plot in terms of putting my maps together, my different pieces of maps together, I want it to be diseases by period. So it means the disease should be the column. Yeah, the disease should be the row, and the period should be the column. And then all these ones are just standard things you have in the ggplot. And then this is the title. I want this to be the title of my map, as you would see, average death rate. And I want to have a subtitle to just show that each row will signify the disease, and each column will signify the time period. And all these ones here are just what I have put in to kind of centralize this title, so that they are not left aligned, so that they are centralized. So once you can play around with some of these figures. Like I said, I'm going to put all this in the description chat button. So once you do that, let's see what we're going to have. Let's see. So you run it, and then it's coming up. It's going to take some time. All right, so we zoom this now. Let's see what we've got here. Yeah, and so this is what we've got. So you could see that, oh yeah, there's a mistake somewhere. You see this NA, we need to knock it out. I don't think I will have to do it again. But so if you see this, you see from 2000 and 2004, you could see the changes over time for this disease, for that disease, for that. But let me redo it again, please. I think I made a mistake somewhere. All right, let's go back to this place. Indian filter. Sorry, I didn't click on all. I didn't run all this. I didn't run all this before. Now let me run them again and show you what I mean. All right. So because those NA shouldn't be there, because I forgot to run when I here. Okay, so here we are now. Yeah, you see those NA are no longer there, and they've been knocked out. And you can see these names of these diseases that used to be that were very long. Now they have been wrapped around 15, 15 millimeters wide or something. And this is the name of the title of the legend, and you can see how each death rate changes over time for each of the time period we have. So, guys, that's all for today. I wish you were able to you learned something new. Please feel free to subscribe, and then you'll be able to be the first to get to know when we drop in a new statistical or econometric or descriptive analysis. Thank you, and see you all later. Bye.